Despite Hero 30's release still being a good ways off, that doesn't mean we can't already start making reasonable predictions about who or what kind of character they're going to be. That's why today I want to take a deep dive into what kind of hero we can expect to next join the game's roster. And in order to do so, we're going to analyze what's missing, what's needed, and how Hero 30 might be able to fill those gaps in the near future. This is Master Ian Gamer, and let's get into it. To start, let's examine the most general category we have to look at, which is Hero 30's role. Anyone who frequents the Overwatch forums, subreddit, or even just YouTube comment sections will likely tell you that a new tank hero is what people want most. However, that doesn't mean that it's what Blizzard will give us, and as we all know, tanks aren't the only class which could use a bit more representation. Supports are in fact the smallest of the three categories, with only 6 representatives versus the 7 tanks and 16 DPS. We can certainly rule them out from getting Hero 30, at least I hope to God we can, but that still leaves us with the other 2 roles, so which one will they be? Well, it's only fair to give each its due consideration, so let's just quickly run through the factors at play, starting with the tanks. As I mentioned, a new tank hero certainly seems to be what the Overwatch community most unanimously wants. On top of that, we've had the fewest new tank heroes since the game's launch, with only 2 additions versus the other categories 3. There's arguably very little variety amongst the tank heroes of the game, especially the main tanks, where many high-level team compositions typically come down to running Winston in dive comps, Orisa in a few niche situations, and Reinhardt in the overwhelming remainder of matches. Introducing a new main tank who is designed to not necessarily replace any of the current ones, but rather stands as a viable alternative in order to give players a bit more variety and possibly encourage more diverse team comps in general, could do wonders for reinvigorating the game's balance and metas. Moving on now to the support category, as I said, it overall has the least number of heroes in it currently, with half of them being classified as main healers and half of them as off healers. In addition, at this point, it's the role which has gone the longest without a new addition, the last one being Brigitte from back in March 2018. Like the tanks, the few hero options to choose from here not only makes it harder for any one player to find a support that they really enjoy, but also limits the amount of variety available for those who enjoy playing the support role in general. And perhaps biggest of all, supports are arguably more important in team composition than tanks. While it's difficult to make this kind of distinction at high tiers of play, I think the majority of more casual players who play at mid to low skill levels, or who spend the majority of their time in quick play, would agree. I know for a fact that I've seen far more teams succeed with 1 support and no tanks than 1 tank and no supports. So then, which of the 2 roles is more likely? Honestly, I think it's too evenly split to say. It's possible that we'll then in fact see another hybrid hero, kind of like Brigitte, who somewhat satisfies both roles. However, it's very unlikely that this will be the case, at least for Hero 30. The reason being is that we don't need more heroes who are halfway good at what they do. We need more heroes who can actually do what their role designates them as doing. We need more main tanks and main supports. And for the record, I know that off tanks and supports have important roles in good team comps too, but the point I'm trying to make is akin to what I said about having 1 support over 1 tank. If you're a gold or platinum player solo queuing with a bunch of randos, and there is little team coordination and no chance of everyone working together, what's going to be better for your team? 1 off tank and off support, or 1 main tank and main support? I'd much rather have an Ana or Moira solo healing than a Lucio or Brig, and I'd much rather have a Reinhardt tanking for me than just a Roadhog. The top tier fantasy of having perfect teams where everyone is both willing and capable of filling the exact meta roles is simply unrealistic for the vast majority of Overwatch's player base. And we need to accept that we're playing a game where you'll be lucky to get 1 person on your team who's going to play tank or support. And if only 1 person is willing to play that role, they should have more options that are effective at single-handedly filling that role. In other words, more main tanks and main supports. Now, the next thing to consider is what exactly this new tanker support would do. To start, one thing that they'll almost certainly not have is more crowd control. Not only has the community been strongly emphasizing their disdain for it over the past several months, but the devs themselves have even stated that they are aware of the issue and are looking to tone back the levels of CC in future heroes. While this mostly means that new heroes won't have stuns or boops, it also could easily mean that upcoming heroes will be able to directly counter or resist the crowd control that already exists in-game. This is something that people have been speculating about since well before Wrecking Ball was even added, and despite the recent nerfs to Brigitte and Doomfist, I think there's still a good chance we'll see upcoming heroes who counter this kind of mechanic. As for what exactly this would look like, well, that's a bit hard to say. It may be an AoE effect that makes allies immune to CC, or possibly a targeted ability that you use on a single teammate to give them an Orisa Fortify-like effect, or the hero might have a more indirect method where they don't straight up resist the effects of stuns and such, but can still manage to deter the enemy from using crowd control abilities in heroes. Abilities like these would have to be carefully balanced, however, as they could in turn enable their own dangerously OP strategies. Crowd control exists for a reason after all, and nerfing it too hard would be a great way to bring back the dive meta. Outside of crowd control, there's also a good chance that Hero 30 will in some way counter the triple tank, triple support comp known as GOATs. While the idea of countering an all tank and support comp with more tanks and supports sounds counterintuitive, there are some avenues by which this could be achieved. For example, a new support hero may enable the game's existing DPS in a way to counter the high health pools of tanks. It may be a straight up damage boost like what we already see with Mercy, or perhaps it'd be something a little more unique that currently doesn't exist. However, beyond the notion of countering GOATs, I think the single most important thing to look forward to from Hero 30 is just that they offer more variety to the tank and support classes overall. Both have way too few heroes, and getting new content like this is critical for countering what is really the biggest problem Overwatch is facing at the moment, which is that it's just getting stale. While I think much more than just Hero 30 is needed right now to truly freshen things up, adding a new hero can do a lot, especially if it's in one of the two underrepresented roles. Given that Blizzard still seems resistant to the idea of adding more than one hero every 4 months, it's crucial that they focus on these two categories specifically. Assuming they will go for this, then I guarantee you that at least the next two heroes will be a main tank and main support, with the only question being which will come first. But since there's still a little while between now and Hero 30's release, that gives us plenty of time to speculate new hero abilities and concepts. I was originally going to include some specific ideas I came up with here, but decided that it would be better to save them for their own separate designated videos. I'll be releasing those pretty shortly starting this coming week, so make sure you stay tuned to my channel if you don't want to miss them. In the meantime though, you can watch some concept videos I already made, such as railguns and drones, by checking out the cards on screen. Otherwise, thank you all for watching, and let me know your thoughts about Hero 30, their role, and any ability ideas you have by commenting down below and voting in today's poll card. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and share it with a friend if you really liked it. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit up the bell to never miss any of my future Overwatch content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.